There's a weird thing here is if I can pull up a pedal here and just by my hand pressure and the different pick I'm using, it sounds like the amp has more or less gain. And that sounds really screwed up to say the pick actually changes my gain structure too. I mean, I can show you. It's going to be really weird.
Let's do it.
I'll show you.
Patched in.
Actually, I have. And just to tell you, I have two works. This is my smaller our home R&D workspace, and so there's a reason why. I don't know if you probably don't. It's probably out of frame, but there are a lot of guitars here that are, something with PAFs, something with EMG 81s, something with P90s. You have to have a classic example of Tele, Strat, Les Paul, 335, Rickenbacker, Jazz. So, because that also is a driving force of what the input source material is that you're testing with. And I play differently, and everyone plays differently when you're playing a 335 and you jump to a Tele. And the Tele, and I've told people, like, man, you play a Tele, I can hear you from across the room because the physical acoustics of that guitar, that plate, the way it's connected to that body, and that pickup being connected to that plate, hanging on that plate with the little brass thing under it, like that has a different sound. You can't get that sound out of the Strat. Mm-hmm. There's all these extra metallic-y harmonics that come off of that bridge. So when I'm writing sounds, when I'm auditioning stuff, I have to have a number of guitars. I have a 7-string blacked out Jackson that's just gnarly, and I've never. There's no pictures of me with it, by the way, but I have it. And it's killer. And you have to test these kinds of higher gain tones. You need to go, be down to C or B. That,
yeah.
I had that going with the real amps and a Jackson 7-string. Just go for days, and I'd go home and listen to Joe Pass. And
you gotta cleanse your palate. Yeah.
I just cleanse it out. But here, I think I just have a basic clean sound. And actually, of the 4, I'm going to pick the honkiest one, which since you already said Tube Screamer. Like, I will show you the difference between 2 different picks. I'm on the bridge, but... And then this one. And I just dropped it, and I can't see it. Because they're tiny, sorry. And so... And then this one again, going back. And then the other one. And hold on. One is softer, has more sustain. Mm-hmm. The clacker one has more percussive bite, but kind of crashes and burns a little easy.
That's crazy how even over an internet live stream connection, we can hear that.
Okay, I'm good. Because if you said you can't hear that, I totally understand. And it's not a reflection of you guys, but we're also fighting the internet. So
yeah, no, you can totally hear it, and I mean, like, it can even come down to just how much point you have left on your pick. Sometimes
that's exactly. And I'll do one other test. Is I sometimes different materials. So those are both nylon picks, and then I will, if I'm testing certain sounds, I use the appropriate pick. If I'm doing an edge thing, I have those old Herdums. Mm-hmm. With the edge, and I have to use the right pick. If I'm going to do a Hendrix thing, I use the old Fender mediums. I actually have a catalog of picks because you have to have the right pick. And if I use a much bigger pick and you're doing this kind of that doesn't work with the pick I had before.
Oh yeah. It's losing that top end, that like transient sort of thing. Yeah,
you're losing it all as opposed to that compared to this. Mm-hmm. That's a little brighter, and then this one's going to be too dark. And that's screwed up to say just on a clean sound. We don't even have harmonic content off the amp. That alone goes well. If you're dialing in funk tones, was it hand? What kind of pick was it? Because it's so screwy to do that. And you start doing the 2 pickups together. And then grabbing this. And then, because I'll show you the pick. So there, one is a jazz, well, it's not even a jazz, it's called a Rock 3. So that's a redone jazzer I had made from just me because as a favor.
Right.
I'll tell you why it's different in a second.
From a Jazz 3.
From a Jazz 3.
I got a Jazz 3 in my pocket too.
Okay, good. So I'll tell you the story. See, I will tell you. So this is a normal Jazz 3 tip. So,
Right.
so quite literally, what you heard that the first two, there you go. Yeah, that tip. So the first two things you heard was this version of the jazz that I have, and then a standard, not played in, just a standard Jazz 3 tip. The other one was this one called a flow, which is a still nylon. And then, funny enough, I asked them, like, what's the standard? Like, everyone says, well, Tortex. You just got to have some kind of Tortex. Everything's Tortex. A lot of default players use a 1.14 or a 77, 88, whatever Tortex. And then I have other Fenders and other stuff all over the desk. So between having enough guitars, enough picks, and then I have the guitars also set up differently. If I'm doing Stevie Ray stuff, it's going to be 10s, 11s, half step down. Some of the other stuff will be... So I have multiple string gauges on the different guitars too. So like, that's... I don't know if I actually answered any question in there.
James, what's interesting is like, you're kind of like a musical anthropologist or a curator of this stuff. And you're someone who is like taking your expansive knowledge and experience of all of this stuff, decades and decades and decades of experience as a player and a musician, and then the technical side and the recording side. And you're helping to sort of bridge the gap from the old school analog world, the vintage tones that have become in many ways like the gold standard that we go for, and then transitioning them into the digital realm and making it much more widely accessible for everyone.